everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Lots About Something podcast. This is the podcast where we, the Lots, always talk about something, and hopefully it'll be something to help you along your way, help your day to be a little bit better. Thanks so much for joining us. If this is a regular occasion for you, maybe you listen every single week, or maybe listening for the very first time, thanks so much for hanging out with us a little bit. My name is Chris, and I am, of course, joined by my lovely bride, Christy. How are you doing today, Christy?
Doing good.
Doing good. Christy, how are you feeling today? Everything good, great, grand, and wonderful for you?
Yep. Doing good. Tired. A little tired, but
I'm tired, too. It's been
we're doing this a little bit later in the day.
Yeah.
It's been rainy out.
Yeah.
So that's probably it.
So we gotta bring some high energy, though.
We'll get there.
You think so?
Yeah.
I hope so. We'll see. If we don't get there, then
snoozer.
Yeah, we'll count this one as a snoozer. Hey, so I have not posted a whole lot of stuff on Instagram, the Lots About Something podcast Instagram this week. So I'd like to apologize for that. I've been busy and I hadn't really thought about it.
Yeah, no, I've noticed I hadn't seen that many clips.
I need to teach you how to post so that you can handle the posting duties and responsibilities. What do you think about that?
That might be a little tough for me to do.
No, it'll be good. It'll be easy.
Once Instagram changed stuff I don't even know how to post a picture on Instagram anymore. So we know all about that.
You don't know how to post a picture at all?
Emma has to help me because when last time they did something, if I was to post something, I might have posted it by accident. So I don't know if that'd be a good thing for me. Okay. So I'll leave that up to you.
All right.
I think you did a little bit better job. Now you can try to show me. We'll see, but.
Yeah, this is all part of you learning how to do new things. Maybe as we close out the year, or not the year, excuse me. That was way too fast. As we close out the month, the first month of the year, I think that's what I was trying to say. That could be something new that you learned. Can you believe that it's almost February? I mean, in all honesty, can you believe it's almost February? That seems kind of wild. It feels like we just had New Year's.
I feel like January was a long month for me. You good over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Like it's still January. I'm like, man, we've been in January for a little while, but
yeah, we're coming up on the end of it though.
Mm-hmm. Starting this week.
So, all right. Well, very good. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we jump into our first segment of the day, and that's just simply what's new. It's a segment that we do every single week that we do the podcast, and we just talk about what's new, what's been happening in our world since the last time we did the podcast. So what do you have? Anything new that's happened? Anything that you want to share or talk about?
Not a whole lot's been new. Emma's gonna go job shadow this week.
She is. That'll be fun for her.
Which is a big deal for an 8th grader.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she's going to go back to the middle school, or not the elementary school that she went to when she was in elementary school, and job shadow with one of her old teachers, her old first grade teacher.
Yeah. I told her I thought it'd be fun to go back to a school she went to, kind of the grade she wants to teach, and if she enjoyed the teacher she had. So I think that either she's going to love it or she's going to hate it by the end of the day. She's got to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning when the teachers get there and stay till the teachers leave at 3.
Yeah.
So
she'll probably like it. She'll do a good job at it.
I think so too.
She has always, since she was a little girl, wanted to be a teacher and talked about teaching and played teaching. Like, if she ends up not being a teacher, I would be very, very surprised. Mm-hmm. Now, I have no idea what Lily will do or be, but if Emma doesn't, if she doesn't become a teacher, that would be surprising for me.
We'll see on Wednesday if she comes home saying, I am not doing this, or, oh, I love this. So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, hopefully it'll fuel, if it's what God wants for her, I hope it'll fuel the passion that she has and love for it that she has.
Yep.
So I hope that'll be true. We went and did something pretty fun yesterday, something that we had never done. Speaking of doing new things, we went to Dave & Buster's last night. So last night, meaning we're recording this on a Sunday, and so Saturday night we went to Dave and Buster's with your family. So it was your mom and dad, your younger sister Amanda and her husband and their nephew, and then your twin sister Crystal, her husband Jeremy, and then their 3 kids. And so we all went to Dave and Buster's. I had never been to a Dave and Buster's before. Well, I take that back.
None of us had been. I think you're the only one that has.
You know what, though? In all honesty, I don't know that I've ever been to a Dave and Buster's. I think I've been to something like a Dave and Buster's, but I don't know that I've ever been to a Dave and Buster's.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
But what was your experience? I mean, what did you think about that? Like, did you enjoy the experience? I mean, obviously, all right, I had a good time with your family, sitting around talking, eating dinner, hanging out, all that kind of stuff was fun. But like overall, what was your experience with Dave and Buster's? And well, I'll say that last part. What did you think?
I think I would go. There's a couple things differently I would do. Since I've never been to a Dave and Buster's, I didn't quite know what to expect.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Chuck E. Cheese for adults. You can bring your kids though.
Yeah.
Tons and tons
I
of
think
games
that's
from
good assessment. Yeah.
From Pac-Man to The Walking Dead shooting up game, the zombies to skee ball to. I mean, it's just games for us, for adults.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of expensive. I would think. I also think that I wouldn't go and eat there necessarily.
Yeah.
I would just go play games and then pick up a burger on the way home.
I agree. If we go back, I would not. So we went there and we had dinner reservations.
We didn't understand what we were doing.
And we went in, we ate, and then we had games, and so we did the whole shebang. They have a restaurant. If you've never been, they've got a restaurant inside. The food wasn't that great. And it was, but I won't say that it was expensive. I don't know it was any more expensive than anywhere else, like another place, but the food wasn't that great.
Well, the pretzel was good. It was big. We just didn't know what we were doing. So next time we would probably just put money on our game cards, go have a good time and play, and then just pick up something to eat afterwards.
Yeah.
We thought if we reserved a table, it would be for us to hang out at, put our stuff down, and enjoy it. But that's not necessarily how that worked. If you reserved a table, it was to eat there, and then you'd still have to get up and go play games and leave the table once you were done. So I would go back again.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play any games.
Okay. You did.
I played no games.
So we go in, and the super nice lady at the front counter helped us figure out the card ticket system.
And we didn't know what we were doing. Right.
And so she said, she could tell we obviously were old and didn't understand what was going on. So she basically told us what to do. She said, get 2 cards, same amount, and then just share the card. And we were like, cool, let's do it.
And in my mind, I thought either me and Emma would share, you and Lily, or Lily and Emma would share, you and I would share. But when you had to scan your card to play the game, so that was really tough to do, to share cards with other people.
Yeah.
I needed my own card.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to spend the money on a 3rd and 4th card.
Yeah.
So me being the grown up I am, I said, girls, go enjoy. Go spend all that 200 tokens each.
I did play a couple of games.
Oh, you did?
I played a couple of car games when Emma and I first got there, but then I went to the table and it was gone. Like, it was donezo.
Emma come back and said, my card doesn't work anymore. It's all out. But I think the kids had a good time.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so let me ask you this. This is the question I was going to ask you. Earlier, well, not earlier this year, last year, we went to another popular place, Buc-ee's. And yesterday we went to Dave and Buster's. We shared on the podcast our opinions and our feelings about Buc-ee's. How would you compare the two?
You can't compare an arcade game place to a gas station.
I don't know, but it's like an experience. Like, how would you compare the experience?
You can't compare the two.
Sure you can.
How?
I would say Dave and Buster's, with our experience, was much more pleasant.
Oh, you were not comparing. No, I misunderstood. I would recommend Dave and Buster's.
Would you recommend Buc-ee's?
Not the Buc-ee's I went to.
Yeah. Still a lot of Bucky bitterness going on in our house.
I just don't. Well, we ain't got to talk about that again. And maybe next time we go to the beach, it won't be a new Buc-ee's and people won't be there as much.
Man, I hope we don't ever have to go to Buc-ee's again.
Maybe we should just ride up to Buc-ee's just for the day.
You just want to ride up to Buc-ee's.
Since it's not like beach season, and then maybe we'll enjoy the Buc-ee's experience a little bit better.
I'm out. The one time that we went, it was so disastrous. I've got no desire to go there on purpose or on accident.
I would recommend Dave and Buster's, though. We went to Columbia. There's one in Augusta. We'll probably go to the Augusta one next if we decide to go back.
Yeah.
If we want to go play some games or whatever. But I had a good time overall.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
I think the location of you got me talking about Buc-ee's now.
Oh, sorry.
The location of Dave and Buster's in Columbia was very chaotic. The traffic was very jammy, like very bumper to bumper. So that was kind of chaotic for me.
Okay.
Speaking of bumper to bumpers, we were in Chick-fil-A Carline the other day, and we saw an old lady running to the back of.
I don't even think she was an old lady. She was just a lady.
Well, she got out with a cane.
Yeah, but she was a lady.
She was older than us.
I don't
She
think
ran
so.
right into that truck.
Yep, she did.
Didn't even see it. Chris said she's about to hit the truck.
We sat there and watched it. I told Christy, I said, that lady's about to hit that truck. And we sure enough, we just watched her back right into it.
And then she pulled back in the spot.
And then she pulled back in the spot. She didn't go pull out fast, so she wasn't like in a hurry.
No.
But she did hit the guy.
Yeah, so that was kind of exciting.
That is the level of excitement that we live in, where that makes it into our what's new is that
car accident.
Yeah, we saw a car accident. I will say that is a rare occasion. Like you often, like at least for me, oftentimes you'll ride up and see the after effect, but the actual see it happen. Now, I'm glad that we didn't see anything bad. Like that would have been. I would never want to see anything like a bad accident. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I could think of that was new is I got to watch the Royal Rumble wrestling. It was pretty good. I was excited about it. I stayed up late last night, and so I'm actually really tired today. I don't normally stay up that late, but I wanted to finish it and see what happened.
That's it?
That's all I got. I don't have anything.
Yeah, we probably can't spoil things with the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I won't.
Our viewers out there might not have watched it yet.
I'm sure that most of our listeners don't even know what the Royal Rumble is.
Something new for us. We caught up all on Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And so we started watching another part of Yellowstone, 1883. The number dates really confused me.
Okay.
Because it could really be like 1587, 1933. I don't really know what it is. I just know we're watching it.
It's a year.
I know, but I'm not good with history anyway. I'm not really good.
It's
at
a time
years.
period.
I get it, but you could
it's
tell
really
me
good.
You could tell me any number, and I'd be like, "Yeah, we're
you
watching."
You were hesitant on watching that, but I really liked it. I think it's really good. I'm not going to say it's better than Yellowstone, but it is really good.
And then there's another one that's got numbers.
It's got Harrison Ford in it.
What's that year?
1923, I think.
Oh. Well, we don't even know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just going to watch the dates.
Yeah, so we'll move on.
So that'll be our next thing that we do.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I've got something I wanted to bring up to you. I thought that you would find interesting. Two things I heard this week. So in the arena of weird news, I don't know if this is news or weird news or what's new, but two things I wanted to mention. The first one was this, and really we missed the ball on this. I mean, in all honesty, we missed the ball. This is after the fact, but there was a lot of buzz going on in the world of the internet, and I don't think it's as much right now, but do you remember the kids show The Wiggles?
Yeah.
You do? And they had that song, the fruit salad song. You remember all of that? So evidently they've added a new Wiggle, and there is a lot of buzz around this new Wiggle because moms think he's hot. Like moms are infatuated with this new Wiggle. His name is John. He's the purple Wiggle. I've got a picture of him for you right here. Look right here. I'll post this on the Lots About Something podcast. But this is John. He's the purple Wiggle. I can see you're blushing. You're one of those moms. I should have never even brought this up.
All I gotta say, that purple Wiggle looks nothing like the other purple Wiggle. I don't even know. Can we pull up the other purple Wiggle? I know he may not have even been the purple Wiggle.
I don't know. Let me see. Let me go ahead.
Well, the other little fella I'm thinking about, he was a little guy like that.
I think.
Do the original Wiggles, and then I'll show you who I'm talking about.
All right, so here's the original purple Wiggle, right?
No.
Didn't he the one that passed away?
No.
Who's the one that passed away? The red one?
The blue one? Or I think it was the red one. The blue one's original.
This is the
That's
purple
not
one.
even the guy I'm talking about. Keep scrolling.
Here, the Asian gentleman?
Yeah. That guy right there. He does not compare to that new purple Wiggle.
So, all right, so you've had several.
Can you zoom that in? Yeah. That purple Wiggle don't look nothing like the other Wiggle.
Okay.
But that's not a good picture of him, but yeah.
All right. I remember that Wiggle. I do remember that Wiggle. But John.
The yellow guy is the guy that I think got sick and died.
Oh, the yellow one is? Mm-hmm. Okay. So John, the purple Wiggle. Now, a couple things about John. He used to be an American Ninja Warrior. Mm-hmm. And I
thought he looked familiar.
I may be wrong about this, but it seems like he's done some acting and those kind of things. But yeah, moms are having just a heyday over the new purple Wiggle, and he actually has a funny song introducing himself. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Put those headphones on. You're not going to be able to hear it if you don't put the headphones in. You're going to be able to hear this song. This is the new purple Wiggle song. All right, I'm just going to preface this and say, John, along with this song, has caused a lot of feelings on the internet about him. Okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Now, I've never heard this. This is all new to me.
Good to see you. Are you ready for a song? I wear purple and my name is John. I love to work out all day long, singing this song while I'm getting strong. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, I'm getting strong.
Okay, John.
All right, so
Got all us women out there. We want to go work out now.
yeah. So John. Yeah, you take your headphones off now. So yeah, so John is he's making a lot of waves in the mom community.
No, I hadn't heard anything about John.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, you're all flustered. I can tell.
Look at John.
Listen, I get
Chris,
it. John is buff. He's a good-looking dude. I get it. I don't even.
American Ninja Warrior?
He's an American Ninja Warrior. Now, he is Australian. He's not.
I was wondering if he had an accent.
He does have an accent.
Makes it all even better.
He is Australian.
Good day, mate.
But yeah, so John the
now,
purple.
look, I'm grinning, but you're grinning just as
No,
much.
listen, I get it. I'm on Team John. I'm on board.
I ain't not looking
with
at it for
Team
any
John.
certain way, but podcast listeners, y'all.
Ooh, ah.
My name is John.
So, all right, I'm going to post this.
What happened to the other purple Wiggle?
I don't really know. I'd have to Google that.
That's just interesting about John.
All right, so we'll Google what happened to the other purple
So a girl used to do it. They switched out.
Let's see. Jeff left the group, and all right. So that was the gentleman that you were talking about at the beginning, the original. He left in 2012.
The yellow and the purple wiggle split.
I don't know. So evidently, there's a lot of wiggle stuff that's going on in the world. But John, the purple wiggle is where the action's at right now.
Yeah. That's interesting. So, do you have a picture of all of the wiggles? Is the girl still in the wiggle?
I have no idea.
Since we're talking about the wiggles, we don't really have time to talk about the wiggles a whole lot.
Well, we're here. I mean, we're in the middle of it. She was this one?
No, not her.
No.
Mm-mm.
Well, looks like they've got several versions.
She's right there in the yellow.
Right here?
Yeah, that's her.
It looks like they've got several versions of the Wiggles.
So the blue guy's the only one that's still there.
Okay.
But I like the Wiggles. Little kids like the Wiggles.
So there's another girl, and that's the original guy.
The only original guy.
Imagine.
That's
the originals.
Guy.
Yeah, that's the one.
There's the purple guy.
All right. Imagine, like, everybody else moved on except for the yellow Wiggle who.
No, blue Wiggle.
He passed away.
Oh, the yellow Wiggle, I think, died.
But like the blue Wiggle, like, what do you think? Like, you think he just loves the Wiggles that much?
I think he's just held it all together.
He is the. Shout out to the blue Wiggle. He is holding the Wiggle industry down.
And he's done pretty good with the newest purple Wiggle.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you're going to take us places.
Do you think his name is Wiggle and he's like Mr. Wiggle? Okay. I don't know. All right.
Well, okay.
So that's what's happening in Wiggle news.
In Wiggleland.
Wiggleland. All right. I heard another interesting story that I honestly have wanted to bring this up to you all week.
Okay.
But I waited. I actually waited on both of these to talk to you about because I wanted to get your reaction. Okay. So last week, there was a young, I think it was last week, may have been the week before. Maybe they just announced it or talked about it last week. But in New Jersey, there was a new student that was registered into school. And after about 4 or 5 days, the school could not make contact with a parent for the student. They couldn't make any solid parental contact for the student. Now, this is red flag number 1 for me, okay? Because how does a 5th grade student get registered into school with no parent? Mm-hmm. All right, but that's number 1. And so they called the young lady to the office and asked her if her parents were available to speak. And she's told them no, they weren't. And they asked why. And the story goes on that eventually the young lady asked if she could leave. And they told her absolutely not. She couldn't leave. And she said, well, I'm actually 29 years old. And she had made fake documents and registered herself as a 5th grade student in school in New Jersey. And her name, let me see, her name is, I'm not going to say this correctly, but it's Hajong. Oh, where's it at?
Right there.
Where's it at?
Hajong Shin?
Yes, that's her name, Hajong Shin. Where'd you see that at? Oh, I see it. Hajong Shin. So yeah. And then so when the school board met like the very next week, they wouldn't even allow anyone to bring up the topic. They didn't want to talk about it at all at the school board meeting. Mm-hmm. How crazy is that? I don't know what she looks like. I honestly haven't looked for a picture of her, but like, mm-hmm. How does that happen?
I don't know. That's weird. That You would think if you were a fifth grader that you would have parents that had to do it all.
I'm thinking
proof of residency, proof of this and that and the other,
Like, all right, so you have always looked young. But when you were 29 years old, you did not look like you could be a fifth grader.
Well, I asked you the other day about the little TikToker, the little boy, how old he was. That's doing all those memes.
Oh, the little fella from Russia?
Yeah, and he's 21, and he looks like he could be.
I guess that's true.
7 or 8.
But even like, does she have no lady body, like feminine body parts?
I have no idea. It is weird, though.
I think so, too.
I could understand why the school didn't want to bring it up, because somebody didn't do something right.
So if I remember correctly, several people... maybe that was something else. Maybe that was a different thing. I was going to say there was another situation at the school I heard about, and multiple people were getting fired and quitting and all that kind of stuff. But I think that was a gun violence situation. Anyway, yeah, I just heard that. I thought that was really strange and really weird, and it brought up this thought for me about things that people lie about. Now, obviously, she lied. She's under arrest. That you can't falsify documents and all that kind of stuff.
I don't think you can be 29 and be in elementary school.
Well, you can't. Yeah, you can't do any of those things. All of that's true.
Very weird.
But here's the deal. The idea of lying it's something that people say you shouldn't do, but the reality is people do it all the time. Like, people lie all the time. I am surprised sometimes at how much that people tell lies. I have lied. If I said that I had never lied, I'd be lying. That's not true. I can remember one particular time you and I had first been married. I've told you about this story. And I was sitting at, I can't remember if I was at home. Phone rang, and they were looking for Chris. And I said, Chris is not here. And they said, well, who are we speaking with? And I said, my name's John. And it was a bill collector. We had not paid some sort of bill. We were young. We didn't have any money. Right. And they were looking for me to pay a bill. I knew I didn't have the money to pay the bill. And so I told them that I was not Chris, that I was John.
Yes.
And I felt really bad about that. And I told you about it. And you responded then the same way that you're responding right now. When I told you, I came to you and said, I need to tell you about this. And you laughed then. And that was years ago. Years and years and years ago. I don't even know if we had kids then.
Probably not.
And then you laughed then just like you have now. Yeah. Can you think of anything you've ever lied about?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm sure I have. I just can't think of anything right off the bat. I'll think about it. If I can think about something, I'll come back.
Yeah, lying's an interesting thing because sometimes lying is habitual. People just tell lies for whatever reason. But sometimes it's situational. Like, we don't want to hurt someone's feelings, or we don't want to face the truth. And so we find ourselves telling lies. I found an interesting article about this, actually, and it's from this website called Best Life, bestlifeonline.com. And it's 40 lies that people tell on a daily basis. So 40 lies that people tell just pretty on a regular. It's a pretty interesting list. So for example, one lie is, I'm almost there. When you know you're not almost there, but you're just going to say you're almost there.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not me.
That's not you?
I try to be on time. Now, I know some people that say they're almost there and they hadn't even left the house yet. So yeah. I could see where a lot of people probably tell that little lie.
I get that. I have a child that does that. Mm-hmm. She will be like, I'm almost there, or I'm leaving now. And she has no intentions of leaving ever.
Right.
So here's another fun. We're going to do all 40, but here's another one. My phone died. I didn't get it because my phone died.
Uh-huh.
You know, I can tell when people's phone dies and when they ignore it, because typically if your phone's dead, it just goes right to a voicemail. Like, or it doesn't say delivered if it's a text message.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
My phone's been acting weird. I've said that before. I think I've said that. It wasn't that expensive. I think I've said that before. It wasn't that expensive. All right, let's see. I'm almost done. I'm almost finished.
But that's not really a lie. That could just be exaggeration.
I will say, like I've been caught in, like, you would be like, hey, are you almost done playing video games or whatever? And be like, I'm almost done. And then you get kind of caught up in something and it keeps going.
I don't consider that a lie, though. I just consider that as an exaggeration. Like, oh, I thought I was almost done. I don't consider it a lie.
All right. Let's see. So this is all about phones. I guess people lie a lot on the phone. I'm having trouble hearing you. I forgot to do that. Oh, man, I forgot to do that. I really meant to, but I forgot. And you just had no intentions. I do forget to do things pretty fine. Here's another one. I'm fine.
See, I don't consider that as a lie.
Okay. So, like, if you were mad and I said, what's wrong? And you said, I'm fine. You don't think that would be a lie? Because you're not fine. You're obviously mad. It's visible.
But I don't feel like I'm lying. Sometimes I say that just because I'm not ready to either talk about it. Give me a few minutes to process it. I'm fine. Just leave me alone kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not like, I don't think it's a lie. It's just like, leave me alone. I'm fine.
Okay. All right.
That's the way I see that.
Here's one that I thought was, this one made me laugh a little bit. Traffic. I got caught in traffic. It reminded me of my friend Wesley when we used to have to do a ministerial internship, and every month we would have to go to Atlanta and do like this class, and it was typically at night and then in the morning until lunch, and then you went home, the next day or whatever. And so we'd drive up and get a hotel. Well, we were always late the next morning. And when we'd come in, we'd be like, traffic. Like even if we decided, yeah, we're going to be late on purpose, we'd be like, man, traffic. It just got caught in traffic. So traffic is a good lie. Let's see. I was trying to think, look at another. I've got plans. You want to go do something? Oh, I'd love to. I got plans. I don't know that I'm going to be able to. Not sure I'm going to make. I've got an appointment. That's another one. I've got an appointment. I really would love to be able to fit that in to my schedule.
You asked me if I've lied about anything.
Okay.
Something that just comes to mind that maybe would be closest to it is if I kept Emma home from school and I don't quite know what to say. I always say she wasn't feeling well. So I decided to keep her home.
Oh, you told lies. Just kidding.
So I had to think about it. But, when you keep her home for the day, you don't say, oh, no, we just didn't want to get up and go to school today.
Yeah.
So, that's just what I'd say. I'm sure I'm not the only one out there that's ever done that. Sometimes we just need a day to stay home and not do anything.
I'll call you later. Can sometimes be a lie when you have no intent. I think some of these are like heart. Like if you have no intentions of calling somebody and you say, I'm going to call someone, then that's a lie. But if you genuinely intend to do that, and then you forget, I don't know that that's a lie, or some, plans change or it slips your mind or whatever it is.
I've probably lied about my weight some.
Okay.
Before, I've probably lied about my weight. I used to lie about my weight on my driver's license.
Okay.
But now they can look and say, honey, you were not that. So I just put what I actually weighed. That's probably a little lie I've done.
Okay. All right. Man, you're telling some big whoppers. Like the lies that you're thinking of are whoppers.
I'm not a real big
I'm
liar.
totally slammed. I was just kidding. I didn't mean I was totally kidding.
Uh-huh.
And so that could be a lie that people tell.
Okay.
And then this was delicious. This was delicious. It was so good. That looks great on you.
Oh, you're gonna like the next one. You have a hard time with.
And then, and all right, this is. I don't know that I had seen this one previously, but this is one of the biggest lies. The article is your baby is adorable. Man, that's tough. Like sometimes you see a little baby, and I know they're little, but they're not all cute.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. Mm-hmm. They're not all little babies are cute. They're little, but they're not cute. And most of them grow up, or like they grow into a level of cuteness, but
they turn out
cute. They turn out cute. All of them?
Most of them, yes.
There was all right, this is, you know who I'm going to say, I won't say a name, but there was a baby that was not in our life, but was in our presence often, like years and years and years ago, before we even lived. We didn't even live where we live now. But that baby looked like Smeagol off Lord of the Rings. You tell me that I have showed you side by side pictures of the my precious Smeagol and that baby. You don't want to say it, but I see it in your face. You know that I'm telling the truth. Do you remember that?
Poor little baby was struggling a little bit.
That baby looked just like Smeagol. That I would see that baby, and I'd be like, "Oh, you get away from me!" I thought that baby was going to be like, "My precious, where's my precious?"
Oh, you're funny.
Oh, okay, all right. So Lion. Now, let me ask you this: do you think there's ever a scenario where it's okay to tell a lie? Obviously, as Christians, we know that we should not tell a lie. Okay? We know that it's wrong. It is a sin. It does go against God's word. So I want to establish all of those things up front. But in your mind, for you, is there ever a scenario where it's okay or you should do that?
Yes.
Okay.
I would think if my girls were in a situation where they couldn't possibly tell the whole truth, like if they needed to get out of a situation,
yeah,
and they needed to get in contact with me, then I don't mind if they lie and say, "Hey, my mom called. She's coming to get me," and text me. I wouldn't. That to me is not a situation where they would get in trouble.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. If it was for their safety or our safety, then I would say that I would probably tell a lie to get myself out of whatever predicament we were in.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
No, 100%. Before Lily could drive, we didn't let her go tons of places, but when she would go somewhere, I always told her, I said, if you find yourself, well, even if she could drive, even if she could drive, I always told her, I said, hey, if you find yourself in a situation that you're not comfortable with and you want to get out of, if you'll just text me the letter X, I'll call you and be like, you got to come home right now. To get you out of a situation. But I agree with that. I do think that when it comes to safety and protection, those kind of things, there may be times where you might need to not say a truth, or somebody's like, hey, are your parents home? We've told Emma that if she's ever been home alone, we've said, don't ever tell anybody your parents aren't home. We just tell her not to answer the door. But I would want her to say, yeah, my parents are home. They're here. They just can't come to the door right now, or whatever. So, I think that there are situations and circumstances where it could be. I think if somebody, if a spouse, someone is in some type of abusive relationship and you need to get out of that, you might need to tell some things to arrange that. For that, I think where safety and protection and those kind of things come in play, there are situations like that. What about hard truths? Like when it's hard to tell the truth, like for you, what do you do when you're faced with those kind of situations? Like if it's really, you need to tell the truth, but it's really difficult for you to say, what do you do in those situations?
Like what?
I don't know. Like if you needed to,
I mean, I try my best to always tell the truth.
Yeah.
So you'd have to give me an example of what you're saying.
I'm just trying to think, like, if you needed to tell someone that you care about, you needed to tell them a truth, maybe some bad news, or you needed to tell them something, reveal something about themselves to them. How do you do those things? You don't know?
I guess I'd have to just do it.
Okay.
Would you have a hard time doing that?
There have been times so this isn't a hard truth, but this is a hard conversation. It was more difficult the first time I ever had to do it. But if I've ever had to let somebody go from a job, if I've ever had to let somebody go, my phone ring. If I've ever had to let somebody go from a job before, that's not necessarily a truth, but it is a hard thing to say, and a hard thing for someone to hear. And so I just I go in and I decide I'm going to go ahead and say the truth and do it quick, not dilly-dally around with it. I just get in, say what needs to be said, and do it with as much kindness and compassion and love as I can. And I've had to do that. I've had to do that before in my job. I've had to do that before in family. And it's never fun. I don't ever look forward to it. But I also, and I never want to go into those kind of situations with like anger or spite, or I think a lot of times people think, well, I need to tell you the truth, and they've got this level of anger behind it. I don't know that that's the time or the place to do that. I think you've got to get yourself to a place where you're calm, you're rational, and if you can't get to that place and that conversation needs to happen, then take somebody with you and let them help you navigate through, and just tell them, say, if I get out of line, just look at me and be like, yo, cool your jets for a second, or have that person step in and kind of mediate that conversation.
I don't think I have a hard time telling lies, but I do have a hard time, and this is probably another whole podcast, a hard time with someone lying about me or you or our family. That would be another whole problem.
Yeah.
As far as lying goes.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
No, absolutely. All right. So I've got one last thing I wanted to mention on this subject, this topic of lying. So next time, and this is from a different article, Chris Carr. It's a blog, and they just simply write, next time you want to tell even just a teeny tiny little lie, remember a couple of things. Ask yourself why you don't want to be truthful. What about this situation? Why don't you want to tell the truth in it? I think a lot of times there's shame, there's guilt, there's, we don't want to admit something. We don't want to hurt someone. So we ask ourselves that. What is the emotion that's driving you to be untruthful? Is it fear, sadness, loneliness, etc.? Spend time with the emotion. See it for what it really is. Bless it, thank it, and let it go. I don't really know what that means, but and then finally, then tell your truth. And I think the whole thing there is deal with the emotion, be able to, to call it for what it is. I don't want to be truthful because I don't want to hurt your feelings. But the reality of that is, if I love you, it's going to be more hurtful for you if I lie than I would tell the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts and sometimes the untruth hurts. And you just got to decide which side of the fence you want to be on. And as Christians, I do think ultimately we've got to be on the side of truth. Mm-hmm. And that's where, that decision is made for us. Our ability to get there, I think, is determined by how we navigate through those feelings and emotions. Yeah. So, all right. Christy, do you have a wow for us today?
I do.
All right, lay it on us.
All right. Excuse me.
Bless you.
It's in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 4. And it says, He comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort others. When they are troubled, we will be able to give them the same comfort God has given us.
Okay.
So, I don't even know if we've done that one before or not, but that's one of my favorite verses that I think I read.
Yeah.
Sometimes He comforts us through certain trials and through certain problems. So, when we come in contact with someone that is going through what maybe we've walked through, then we'll be able to comfort them in that season of their life because we've gone through it.
That's good. So. That's good. God, I think, oftentimes takes us to places where it strengthens us, but also so that we can strengthen others from where we've been. So that's good. All right. Well, Christy, that's about all we've got for us today.
Well, we didn't know what we were going to talk about, but we talked about something.
We did talk about something, and that's what the podcast is all about. All right. So let me just kind of say a couple things really quick. Thank you again so much for being here. If you made it this far, much love to you. We appreciate it. We love to connect with you. And so you can do that through the Lots About Something podcast on Instagram. And make sure you go follow the page. Hit the little, I think it's a little heart button, right?
Maybe.
When you want to follow something?
I don't know.
I think so. Hit the little fart. It's not a fart button. That's a whole different button altogether. Hit the heart button and follow us. That's what I was trying to say.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, also, man, we wanted to let you know we are. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can also watch us over on Spotify. So if you go down to that little media tab on Spotify, hit the bar that's playing the podcast, it'll pull up a video and you can see us. And we'll be like, hi, if you're watching, hi, we're waving at you. So again, we really do appreciate you coming, hanging out with us a little bit today. And until next time.
See ya.
Bye, guys. Y'all have a great one.